My name is Dr. Haley Silvestro. Welcome to Grief and Loss Across the Lifespan, HSR 574. All right, get going. This is an online asynchronous class. We've got graduate students and we've got undergraduate students. So a nice mix of people. I look forward to getting to know you. So again, my name is Dr. Haley Silvestro. I'm an associate faculty member here at Northern Kentucky University. I teach in our graduate counseling program, and I'll have some of those students in here, and the undergraduate human services and addictions program. I think we'll also have some of those students, but we also get students from other programs, and I'm just excited to have you. I'm always interested to know what drew people to this class. But on the other token, it doesn't surprise me. Grief is a very normal part of life. It's very common. But we also tend to find that people don't know how to talk about it or don't have spaces to talk about it. So hopefully this class can really kind of expand, one, your ability to kind of talk about these topics, but also give you kind of a lot more terms and things and ways of thinking about grief in ways that are useful. So, let's head on over to Canvas and kind of look at some pieces there and do a quick look at the syllabus. Now this is an asynchronous online class, so it's really important that you know how to navigate around Canvas. You're going to find pretty much everything you need though here on the home page. I like to lay everything out very clearly. So where you can obviously get the syllabus for the class and be sure that you check out the graduate or undergraduate common syllabus depending on, which type of program you're in. It's always good to know, your rights, responsibilities, also the policies that we have for various things. So you can check those things out there. I also want to say, make sure you turn announcements on and that you're getting those things to your email. Announcements will be one way that I communicate with you in this class, messages in Canvas, or I could also email you directly. Make sure you're checking all those things and everything is linked and working so that if needs come up, you know how to get me in touch with me, and also if something changes in class, you're aware of it. Now, everything is going to be organized in a very clear fashion. That's really important to me. I'm a little type A in that way. But modules are always going to open up pretty much always besides Thanksgiving at Mondays at 4 p.m. So usually things are going to open up Mondays at 4. That'll be your time to kind of go through all of these pieces, finish the discussion board. We have discussion board every week. Do all the reading, look at all the videos, and turn in any assignments. Everything is going to be due, for the most part, the following Sunday at 11:59 p.m. So you have plenty of time through the week to get things done. And then, the next Monday, the next module will open. I do not open up modules early for the most part because I want you, number one, this content builds on itself, so I want you to kind of go through it in a particular order. Also, this is a class that is a little bit heavy, and so the discussion boards are one place for us to reflect and connect with one another, and I want us to do that together as a group, so we kind of go through it together as a team, and we'll talk about it together as a team. I think that's nice. So, modules are going to be well organized, and notice, we're going to get through several topics before fall break. There will be no extra videos or things to watch during fall break, but I give you a little bit of extra time to select a topic for one of your major projects. And then, as I said, another difference is around Thanksgiving break. Where is it? It opens early. Somewhere it's in here, Thanksgiving. It'll be, opens a little bit early. So you can get things done before you go off and hopefully have a nice time with your family and or just eating a nice meal somewhere. It's always nice. And then your last assignment, your personal loss narrative, is your final. And so that'll be due on Tuesday of finals week, so slightly different time. But otherwise, it's really going to work like clockwork. Now let's go look at the syllabus. Said this is an online class. It's asynchronous, which means you can go through it at your own pace. There is some heavy content, really meaningful content, and I sort of actually do really like having this as an asynchronous class online because it gives you kind of the time and space to process the material. So if you need to get a hold of me, since we're not going to be meeting at a regular time in a classroom, just email me. I am really great about getting back to people. If you have questions or you want to set up a meeting, I usually get back to people within 24 hours during the week. and 48 hours on the weekends, which is a way of saying I may not get back to you on the weekends because I might be traveling and living my life. Who could say? But I do check my email pretty often and sometimes still get back to people on the weekends. So this course is obviously grief and loss across the lifespan. Some important pieces there. One, we're talking about grief. When a lot of people talk about grief, they tend to think about bereavement, which is, a loss that is the result of someone dying. We are going to talk about that, but we're also going to highlight a lot of other types of grief experiences that people have and how that impacts them and how that's important. I designed this class, and I was asked to design this class like 6 years ago because when I was practicing as a counselor, grief was somewhat of one of my specialties, and I started to really love this kind of topic when I was working in a cancer hospital. And yeah, I had some clients that died from cancer, but a lot of people survived from cancer. But there were also a lot of other losses they experienced besides, maybe they didn't die, but they lost a part of their body, they lost an old ability, they lost friends and family members sometimes through, the chaos of having cancer. So that really just helped me see that there's so many losses in life and so many times that we experience grief. So I just really hope for you that this course helps you see that in a new way and just recognize more of those losses that people can experience through the lifespan. Because the second piece is its lifespan. We're going to look at, what are common losses through the lifespan. There'll be things you are likely to experience when you're 90, right? That you may not be expected to experience when you're a young child, but those losses, unexpected losses also happen. Also, where you are in the lifespan is going to heavily influence the way that you respond to losses, the way that you grieve. So that's, two important frameworks for how we're looking at this. One, that grief is not just about death when people die, and two, that loss experiences are common throughout the lifespan, and we want to look at kind of what that tends to look like. So I want to widen your personal understanding of losses. I want you to have a good understanding of grief theories and ways that we kind of informally assess grief experiences during this class. And I also am hoping that you can demonstrate a high level of personal self-awareness around grief experiences, that this is a topic that you're really going to chew on. And again, I'm always really honored to be here as people do that. Your book is going to be Living Through Loss, Interventions Across the Lifespan, 2nd edition. I wish I could hold it up, but I think the book is actually in my other office. Whoops. There is also some reading that we do, and I have those readings already, uploaded to Canvas from a different book, and that is like Worden's Handbook for Grief Counseling. This is not a required text, but I will say if you are a counseling student or you're someone who, if you're a nurse, if you're a social worker, if you're going to be doing any type of therapy with people around grief, I do strongly recommend that text. It's a great one and it's not too expensive. Attendance. This is obviously an online class, so I just encourage you to check in a few times per week. It's also really important that everyone logs into the class by Thursday at 5. But if you're watching this, you probably have already done that, and you don't need to contact me. Faculty can actually see when you log into Canvas and like how long you are in Canvas. It's a little creepy, a little big brother, but all that to say, you don't have to notify me. I will know if you've been in the class or not. Assignments, late stuff, I don't necessarily accept late assignments, but I will say I'm really good about working with people so long as they communicate with me. But if you go MIA and you're not turning things in, I am not going to let you go back and make up assignments later. But again, if you do have something going on, I understand that life happens. Being a student is just one part of people's lives. So just communicate with me. Let me know. I'm happy to work with you. I just, also side note, you will get either a failing grade on assignments or a failing grade on a course if for some reason I find that you've plagiarized anything, and that includes using AI to generate assignments. Don't use AI in this class. AI also doesn't really do a good job at these kind of assignments. They're going to be, tend to be very reflective in nature, and AI is usually just very general about that kind of stuff. So please just write your own stuff, and you're going to get more out of it, and I'm going to enjoy reading it. As I said, I'm good about getting back to people. I'm not going to go through the whole syllabus, but I want to kind of quickly describe the major assignment categories for you so you kind of know what to expect as we get into the semester. You notice again that this is an undergraduate and graduate course, so there are going to be protocols that I provide for you for every assignment, like more detailed than in the syllabus before each assignment, and there are going to be slightly different requirements for graduate and undergraduate students. So obviously a little bit more is usually expected from the graduate students. Just make sure you're checking out the protocols in the syllabus, and you should be fine. As I said, pretty much everything going to open up Mondays at 4, and most assignments are going to be due the following Sunday at 11:59 p.m. The first major assignment are just your discussion boards, which might involve an activity. I might say, have a conversation here. A lot of times I am sneaky and I will put the discussion board topic somewhere in my lecture for the week. But my lectures tend to be like 20-30 minutes. So, but it's my way of tricking you and making you watch the lecture because I think it is meaningful and I put effort into that. But you have discussion board every week. It's worth a maximum of 20 points, but over the semester that adds up to 300 points total, which is 300 out of 850. It's a good chunk of your points. You can earn 20 points if you respond to the prompt very thoroughly and you respond to one peer. Now, you don't have to respond to more than one person. You're welcome to do so, but you have to respond to at least one peer to get the full 20 points. If you don't respond to someone, you can earn a maximum of 13 points. And obviously, if you don't post anything, you will get a 0. I tend to not accept late discussion boards, not unless you were you were going to do it on Sunday and then you had to go to the hospital. Then I might let you. But for the most part, these discussion boards again are an important place that we kind of process our learning as a group. So it's less impactful if you're turning it in late because people can't see it and comment on it. So discussion boards, major one. Then you have another group of assignments which are, you have 3 papers due, and that's like the big meat of this class. Why papers and not, tests? With this topic, it does need to be something that you're reflecting on and writing about. I just don't think like a matching multiple choice test is going to really show me what you've learned, and it's just not going to be as meaningful. So these papers are all opportunities for you to apply what we've been learning in class in a new way, and they all kind of get a little bit more intensive as the semester goes on. Your first one is actually going to be due in 4 weeks, and this first paper is a pop culture loss narrative where you pick a movie of your choice, but it should be a movie where a character has experienced some type of loss, and so you will kind of take concepts we've talked about in class to talk about that loss and like what you're seeing, etc. As I said, this is that kind of differential in whether you're graduate or undergraduate of what's expected of you. And I will have additional protocol posted for all the papers and your other, presentation assignment. But you'll get more information there, but that is your first paper. Your next one is going to be due about midway through the semester, and that's a loss interview narrative. You'll actually find someone and interview them about a grief experience, and you'll talk to me about it, the different, signs and symptoms of that loss, and you'll also apply a grief theory. So, and then that leads to your last paper, which this is actually like your final in this class, is a personal loss narrative, where you're going to write about a serious loss that you had, or it could be a series of losses in a short amount of time. You're going to be asked to analyze several factors of that loss, including cultural messages, cognitive, emotional, physiological impacts, etc. Choose a theory. And so this is, as I said, it's due during finals week, and it's kind of your version of a final. One thing I would say now, start thinking about this and what you would write about. And if you feel like you just you haven't had a loss, a grief experience that you could write about, and or if you feel uncomfortable writing this paper, please contact me by midterm so that we can work out an alternative assignment. I'm happy to do that. Just make sure that you let me know by midterm so we can talk about that. And then finally, this will be due before finals week, actually the last few weeks of class. And instead of me lecturing, you're actually going to be looking at these different presentations put together by your peers. So everyone will be responsible for designing like an 8 to 12 minute, it'll be a YouTube video where you are talking about a lost topic of your choice. Now, what I love about this is it allows you to really kind of customize this class in a way. You can pick something that you're really interested in, something that you want to do a deeper dive on, whether that is for, professional purposes, something you think you might end up doing in your career, or if it's just a loss you're curious about, or even a loss that you've experienced that you want to see, what is out there, what does the professional literature say, what are people's experience with this. And so we'll pick these topics around midterm, and they'll be due about a month later. And so everyone will do some type of video that they can put in YouTube and I can link in class, and you'll watch a few of those over the course of 2 weeks. So those are the assignments in a nutshell. But again, there'll be more information provided closer to the due dates, and just make sure you check the syllabus and the assignment protocol. That is 850 points total. And of course, here is the breakdown of grading scales, etc. I'm not going to go through all of this, but here is the course schedule. I try to keep everything laid out so you see what we're talking about, what reading you have to do, and what assignments are due that week. And note, we don't have a module for fall break because the class, technically is a Monday class, even though things are due later. But I'll give you extra time to turn in your special topics idea by then. And then I do open early for Thanksgiving break, and then finals week. Something is due a different time. That's it for now. Make sure you read through the syllabi, get to know Canvas, watch anything else posted, and be sure to do the discussion board for the week. I look forward to getting to know you better and exploring this topic. Bye. But, again, I'll stop there.